Hello everyone, welcome to the mobile arena. The app that we're going to review today is for the iPhone. As you can see, I have it in front of me. It is a very popular app on the App Store already, but I think it is one of the most important applications that I cannot live without on my iPhone. And the app that I'm going to review today is Battery Doctor, which is right here. Now, battery has always been a problem for smartphones, not only for the iPhone, but a lot of ones like the 1X or the S3. Maybe not as much for the Note 2, but overall, people that are using devices nowadays have problem maintaining a charge throughout the day. Now, this is probably the best application that you can have to maintain your battery. There are a lot of ways to maintain it, and this will teach you a lot of different ways. It has a few settings, such as status, recharge, acceleration, system, and more. We're going to go through each of them. The status is telling you how much time you have left on your device, and you can change that depending on some of these functions that your phone has. If you click detail, it will tell you more exactly on how much you can use, how many hours you can use for each function, such as internet, YouTube, 3D gaming, or photo taking. It also gives you an idea of which things actually drain the most out of your battery. So as you can see, FaceTime and LED torch actually drain a lot of the battery, whereas Wi-Fi or maybe audio playback, 28 hours, drain the least. Well, for one thing, these are not accurate per se, but overall it gives you an idea of what to save and what uses the most battery. We also have here, which can teach you about how to make sure that you can save battery. So right now I have Wi-Fi on, but say if I wanted to extend my battery life, I can just go into settings, and then I can turn Wi-Fi off. And once I turn it off, when I go back, it will increase the battery life status. It gives you an idea of how much time you have left on your device. Next thing we're going to go to is recharge. Now, I always have two rules that I follow when I charge my device. The first thing is not to let it go below 20 or 30. The best for me would be like 40. And the second thing is to make sure you charge to 100%. Now, right now it is only telling you how long it will take to recharge, but having your habit of properly recharging the battery, it will help extend the battery lifespan. It also gives you a calendar of the charging records you have this month. So starting from here, when I got the iPhone at the 18th, it'll give you an idea of how many times you have charged. And as you can see, I have 11 partial cycles, and they also recommend that you do a full cycle every month to maintain the battery life and the battery status on the phone. And as you can see, it also gives you little tips here and there on what to do, such as for here it says 20%, but I'm always safer, plus it's not like I need to extend it that much, so I always charge at 35 or 40%. Next thing we have is accelerate, which will give you an idea of how much memory is being used, and if you press accelerate, it will free up some of the memory, like this. At this point, now it is at the best state of the memory that you have. The final thing is we have system, which is actually pretty convenient, although since it is an iPhone, there's not much you can do, but at least it gives you an idea of what the status of your phone is. It has the phone details, CPU usage, memory usage, Wi-Fi network, and the system runtime. It gives you an idea of how long it has been running. It also has the hardware specifications, such as battery capacity and so forth. The last but not least thing that we have is the Discharge Rank, which requires Wi-Fi, and I'll show you later. The alarm clock and the tips. Let's go through the tips first. It really has a lot of ways to which tells you how to extend your battery life. It tells you update your software, time zone off, turn Siri off, which I have done. I don't use location services, and push notifications. So you can see it ranges from here to here. It has a lot. I'll just go through them quickly. Fewer accounts. use fewer third-party apps, which I also do, it's always better to use less amount of applications, because the more you have, the more battery it uses overall. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, 3G, airplane mode. I often use this when I'm trying to save battery as well, but I never had to, since so far my battery life has been superb on this device. Turn off equalizer, auto brightness, locking your iPhone, and 3G and 3GS, so forth. There's also about making sure that it is not too cluttered with your case, and the temperature range, and make sure that you have a regular charge cycle. Last but not least, we have the discharge rank, which is right here. And it tells you about the application that's being used and the amount of power that it uses. So here, the ones that are currently being used basically use the most amount of power, and it is so detailed it actually tells you exactly the milliamp that is being used every time. We have the push notifications and the applications that uses the most. So Dropbox, YouTube, and English Thesaurus, which I'm not surprised because Dropbox requires Wi-Fi to use as well. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show you is what happens when it charges, and this is probably the best feature of this app, and it is the whole reason why I use this app in the first place. So when it is charging, it will go into a different mode, this charging mode, and this is where the alarm comes in as well. But let's talk about the charging cycles to begin with. First, it tells you how long it takes to charge. The second is that it will tell you the high speed, continuation, and trickle way of charging. Right now we're at the high speed cycle because we're at 70%, but continuation and trickle is around at 90 to 100. The key thing is that even when your phone reaches 100%, here it will tell you that it is not finished charging yet. It will be at the trickle, and that is when your battery health is at stake. A lot of people, once it reaches 100, they just pull off, and that is what causes the battery life to decrease over time. So by using this application, it will tell you when to actually stop charging your device and not get tricked by the 100%. The problem with this app, though, is that once you exit it, then it won't be running because of this. Obviously one of iOS's faults, being that it can't run in the background. So say if I close this and I was using another app and I come back, it will have to re-update itself, and it will freeze during that time. But either way, this app will help you extend your battery life a lot, and the alarm clock is what is being used when you're charging the device. Let's just go through here as well. We have the charging screen here, and there's actually some settings here as well. We have the screensaver color, which is very nice. Blue, orange, a lot of ones. We have the auto lock time, we have the alarm clock, and it can also display the weather. I highly recommend that you get this one. I know that there are a few that are out there, but so far I think this one is the best. And there are also a few copycats out there, which is pretty obvious. All they've done is change the font or a few. Since this is an app that came from China, I'm not surprised that there are some knockoffs out there. That is it for the Battery Doctor application. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.